I am doing with the yellow wire.
Staple it up. Good job. That trestle's going to be strong. It's going to be a good foot.
Yeah.
Where's the rest of your table?
Right there.
Are you building that one?
Yeah.
Good job.
So this cute little buffet, it's modern. It's not something we normally do, but I went to a Dent and Ding moving cell for a furniture company, and this has just been used in model homes, but for whatever reason there's like these little holes in here. And so what I'm doing is I'm using 3/8 plugs that you can buy at your hardware store, and I'm just filling, instead of filling them all with putty, I'm just filling them with these and hammering them flush. And then I can paint this no problem. If you're really worried about possibly having an indent, which these will, I might take some lightweight spackle and just go over them lightly and then sand them. But that way I don't have to fill the whole plug, like the whole hole, is that even a thing? A whole hole with spackle. I can just put a little bit, it'll dry a lot faster. This whole piece is gonna get painted, but the top has some damage, so we're gonna plank that with some wood. We've got a video on planking with more information, but you'll kind of see this thing come to life and transform.
Hey, good morning. A little woodworking tip. I've got this knot here, and some of these don't have very big gaps. The polyacrylic that I seal it with will fill that. But sometimes you got to use resin. Or in this case, I'm going to show you a glue up method with glue and sawdust. I'm just going to take some glue on my wax paper that I've got here, and I'm going to make up quite a bit because I've got a lot of sawdust. And then just out of my dust collector on my sander, I'm going to get a pretty close color match because this sawdust is from this wood here. It's from this table. And this is really fine powdery stuff. And then I'm just going to mix it up. Then I'm just going to fold it in. It's like I'm doing some baking. Just mix that up until it's the consistency of like a thick paste. And I may have added too much sawdust. I might have to go with more glue. Yep, gonna need more glue. And this is my favorite way to make up your own wood putty. It's ridiculously cheap, and I feel like it works better, and this will take stain pretty well too. I'm getting ready to put the base for my bench that I'm building to go with that table together. And I've got to drill some holes so that I can run some screws through the top of this. I could chisel it out and mortise and tenon it, but I'm not gonna, because these are gonna get some support brackets that go up from here, and they're gonna be super strong for how tall this bench is. So to get the depth that I need, because this is 3.5 inches thick, some drills have a depth stop on them, that you can adjust. I don't have that on this particular drill, so I've made myself a tape flag. I'll just put a little piece of tape on there that I can pull off, and I'm going to drill down to that depth.
Some days are crazy and we have a million things going on. Today, on top of the entertainment center you saw me paint, we've got the base of the table that this is sitting on. We've got that drying. I've got one more coat of white to do on that, and then once that dries, then we'll work on the top. And then I'm also working on, this is like the decorative shelf piece to a buffet. Somebody didn't want it, and when I went to that furniture store, I bought it. They were also working on the hutch you saw us fixing earlier, and then Zeb's, on top of everything else, Zeb is working on a farm table. I don't know if you can see it in the background, and a bench. So we have a lot of things going on. I like to stack it up like this because everything that we're working on today, except for the tops, it's all getting painted white. So while something's drying, I'm working on something else. So this has these boards. This is what connected it to the buffet, and we already glued up a few pieces that were loose and clamped those, but we've got to cut this off because I'm going to make this into like a big coat rack for a mudroom. So watch as we get this cut off. You're getting dust all over my first paint job. You're lucky that's not the final coat.
Yeah, just sand them smooth. So
Alright, let's take it in there and let's sand it.
Okay. Alright, so this is that, if you guys have been watching, that big table was made out of cedar like this. My dad brings this up to me from Texas. He mills it down there. And this is what we're going to use to plank the top of that, I don't even know what to call it, that buffet.
Center.
Entertainment center, buffet, something like that. But I got to get some straight lines on here. So I'll get one straight line with the circular saw, and then I'll get it on the bend or the table saw and get the rest of it straight cut.
You gonna plane that?
No. I'm not gonna plane it. You want to take out all these beautiful marks? Come on now. Those are saw marks. It's character.
Saw you.
Think of the 1800s. That's all they had was saw marks all over everything.
This is 2017, dude.
I like my saw marks in 2017. This is the table base I've been working on. Jami is staining the base right now. It's getting painted white, but we're going to distress it pretty good, and we want that darker color to come back through. If you just leave the pine, you won't see any of the distress really, because the pine is almost as light as the white color. Alrighty.
Hold on. Give us a thumbs up if you think that Zeb should take this refrigerator to the dump.
Give us a thumbs up if you think Jami should take it to the dump.
I can't move it. I found the new refrigerator for free.
Yes, you did. Alright, so we're planking the top of that buffet dresser thing. I don't know what
Entertainment center?
Sure, it's that. But we weren't going to plane down the wood, but I had to use two separate boards. I don't know if you can see that. They're way different on thickness. This one's about an inch.
This one's a fatty and that one's on a diet.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to plane them down and get rid of the mill lines, but Jami's gonna do it because I'm still building the table. Maybe too much smell.
I know. Okay, so to finish our project here, I am using steel wool and vinegar, and I'm just wiping it on my wood, and this will give it a gray, weathered, aged patina.
See how that's turning gray there as it dries out?
You could do this on any wood, but it works really great on oak, walnut, cedar. You can do it on pine, you're just not going to get as drastic of an effect.
Here, put this on the back row.
What's going on here? That's weird. So swap these. Move that one. You don't want the seam to come out. No! Move this one. There you go. Hold on, you got, it's not leveled over there. Oh, can we start wood? Oh, there you go. Alright guys, we are early Saturday morning finishing up our projects from yesterday. We decided to take off early. Zeb went to a football game and I went out for a girls' night out with my girlfriends. So I'm finishing up the dining table that I was working on. These are the chairs. There's 4 of them, and then I've got 2 in the garage that I'm going to paint to match. So I'll have 4 of one kind and 2 of another. I think it's going to be a super cute set. They're going blue, green, and fairy chalk mother. To buy this color, be sure to go to JamiRayVintage.com. So with chalk paint, a lot of people think you can just spray and go, but a really important step when you're getting ready to paint something with fairy chalk mother paint is you want to clean your piece really good. Also, if it's super duper shiny, you might just want to lightly sand it and take off some of that sheen. Little prep doesn't mean absolutely no prep, and if your piece is greasy and gunky and dirty, there's no way that that paint is going to adhere over the top of it. And these were kitchen chairs, so you can imagine what I've found on them. I gave them a light sanding to kick off some of the really gross stuff, but I'm just taking degreasing dish soap and water, and I'm going over the whole piece, especially down around the rungs. It's really good to clean this because that's where gunk settles in, and I'm going to degrease the whole thing, and then once they're dry, then I'll paint them.
It's time to stain up this tabletop that I've been working on, and then I'm going to go ahead and put a gray wash over the top of that. But this is just Jacobian in Minwax. The number on it is 2750. And I just got my glove under my handy dandy sock method here. Here I'm just painting the base of this table white that I've been building, and we'll distress that dark stain that we put on there back through a little later. I've got the whole top of the table stained, and I'm just going to go back over it with my rag and make sure that it's all evenly covered. Some of it was a little thick and some of it was a little thin, so this will help even it out.
So I'm working on this table that goes along with the chairs that I've been painting, and it's solid oak, but it's got like an oak veneer on it. So if you wanted to do a real great stain on it, you'd have to be careful not to get through the veneer down to the wood underneath. In my case, this table was already so damaged that I'm just going to go with a barn type finish, so it's going to have brown and gray and white dry brush and make it look like barnwood, because I'm just going with the damage. It's never going to be perfect, so I'm not going to try to make it perfect.
So normally Jamie does all of the dry brushing and the faux finishes and makes stuff look like old barnwood, but she is busy sanding that other table, so I'm going to give it a go. I have a really hard time doing dry brushing because I can't do random very well. I love patterns, I put stuff on with patterns, I build with a pattern. I don't do random good. I love symmetrical designs.
Alright, so I am using a new stain. It's by Varathane, which is a Rust-Oleum product. It's called Weathered Gray. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's weathered. It looks a lot like classic gray. It's nice and thick, but I think in this case, where this table had so much damage to the top, thick is better because it will hide it and give it a uniform look. When I'm all done, I'll decide whether or not I want to do a white dry brush. So are we talking about the fact that I didn't get the hutch painted today?
We can address that. I've mentioned it a couple times in the video.
Is it recording?
Yeah, we're going.
So I didn't get my hutch painted today. Always trying to sneak it in. It's like we're on a date.
Hey, we got all the kids to go away and be quiet for this. It's after their bedtime, but they're trying to milk it out and stay up late.
It's like way up.
It's Labor Day weekend. Usually
it's only 9 o'clock. I thought it was like 10.
It feels like 10 because we've been working since 6.
Started when Redrick woke up in the middle of the night last night and he was all coffee.
Yeah,
and then Jack woke up early.
We all got the sniffles a little bit right now, a little under the weather, but
it's been a good day.
Video. This is like a 2.5 day video because we snuck a little video in on you yesterday. It was just 2 days. Is it only 2 days?
2 days. That's it.
It's only 2 days. I built 2 tables and Jami finished an entire table. She did this whole set by herself. The only thing I did was move it around for her.
With my help.
Yes. Occasional help.
And I said in the video that I was gonna like gray stain and brown stain and dry brush, but once I got that weathered oak on there, once it dried, I could actually see some of the oak color come through, and it really like covered very well, and it hid a lot of like the veneer damage and really evened out. So I just went with just one coat of it.
Yeah, it's the 3 times coverage stuff that Rust-Oleum makes, the Varathane.
Yeah, it's not like a gel stain. It's like a typical stain, but it's just a little thicker, and it just covered really well.
It felt like a gel stain going on, but then when it dried, it kind of thinned out like a regular stain. I like it. It was good stuff.
So I vote yes. It's a good one. And this table actually already sold in like a record time, like 7 minutes after I posted it. This lady's like, I want the table, I'm gonna be there.
They drove over here. We had just like set it in the living room. It had been in here for 15 minutes and they were here looking at it.
Yeah. Oh, and I was gonna tell you guys, so if you guys spray like your paint and your sealer and it's really hot outside, sometimes you can get kind of a rough feeling. And so if you use...
So the reason that happens is because it dries too fast. And it doesn't self-level. It doesn't give it a chance to do that. Same with the polyurethane. It'll have the same effect. So if you can put it in the shade... Sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Well, yeah, if you can put it in the shade. And anyways, even if you have it in the shade, it's super hot. Sometimes it's still rough. So if you could just take like a really fine sanding block when you're all finished and give it a final buff, it'll smooth it out and make it nice and soft. So just a tip. When they came, I didn't have time to like finish buffing everything, and my customer was like, oh, it's a little rough here. So I went and smoothed it all out.
It's very smooth.
Yeah, it's very smooth. They were very happy campers. It turned out good. Let's see, what else do we do? Oh, that buffet with the cedar top.
The cedar top, the Texas cedar.
Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, like steel wool and vinegar. It's a trick that works really well. I want to try it on some different wood to kind of see how it reacts.
So some people have said that the reaction keeps going if you use steel wool and vinegar. We haven't had that be the case. We seal it with polyacrylic though, so I don't know if that stops the reaction, but we seal it. We don't just let it sit.
But it's really cool. It's what we did. Oh, and the big table sold today. The big with the big chunky legs that was in our garage. We had it in the trailer. That sold. So that was. It's been a good day.
It's been a good week and then a good day.
I think I want to go on vacation. Unfortunately, we're busy. Yeah. Oh yeah. And anyways, back to the white buffet. I got distracted. We cedar planked the top. That also sold. So it was a good day.
Yeah. Yes. All good things.
Was there anything else? Oh, I was going to tell you guys. So if you're from Arizona and you watch these videos, I need you to come see me at Painter's Conference. I'm teaching a class. It's on Friday. I can't remember exactly what time. I think it's like October 5th. But if you look up Painter's Conference Arizona, look for Jami Ray. That's me. And I'm teaching a class on candlesticks. Zeb is going to make, what, like 500 candlesticks?
Yeah, we've been talking a little bit about it, but that's going to start taking place here. I'm going to...
Yeah, well, I'm in Delaware. He's going to be making 500 candlesticks. Anyways, and in my class, you learn all about chalk paint, and you get to take home 2 candlesticks that you've painted in my class that Zeb turned. So if you're from Arizona or close to Arizona, I would love to see you at Arizona Painters Conference.
I think that's it.
Okay, that's it. Be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more DIY.